Hey guys.
Howdy.
Hi.
Let's see. So I got Thad, you right there. Kevin, is that you on my right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Okay, cool. Well, let's get you guys set up and on duty.
Perfect.
So
Hey, Kevin, I want to say I love your style.
yeah, nice.
Hilarious.
I,
Alright,
I
I
see.
didn't plan this, I swear.
Go
Yeah, I
ahead
see.
and come over here to the book there. You can sign your name to clock on duty. Yeah, that's funny. But I mean, hey, it's snowing, best to have a big puffy jacket. Feel free to pick a locker and throw your name on there. Actually, my sticker fell off mine, so I got to put that back up. This is Corporal Blake. She'll be joining for the onboarding.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah.
All right, give me 1 second. I just have to set up your FTO reports. All right. So first thing we can do is we can go ahead and get your call signs. Call signs can range anywhere from 1 up to 150. So if you guys have a number in mind that you'd like, I can check and see if it's available.
What about 44?
That one is available. You want to go with that one?
Yeah, please.
All right. What about for you?
It's 11 available?
It surprisingly is, yeah.
Nobody likes
All
11.
right, Thad, you are Charlie 44, and Kevin, you're Charlie 11. Do you guys know how to bring up dispatch?
Yes.
Yeah.
I gotta look at my notepad here.
All right, cool. So quick rundown of dispatch. The upper left corner, that's going to be active calls or like recent calls. You'll have little things pop up there for stuff. In this case, since there's none there, if you just uncheck the active box, you can see like what some of the calls look like. Those are previous calls. Down below that, in the bottom left, extending to the center, is going to be active radio channels. Channel 1 is going to be PD's main frequency. Channel 6 is going to be doctors and EMS, and then we operate on channel 7. Those are basically the main channels you'll need to remember. So what we'll do when we get to a radio, or get you guys your radios, get you set up on channel 7, and then in the future, if you end up needing doctors, EMS, or PD, you'll swap to either channel 1 or 6, depending on what you need, and ask for them. In the bottom right, you have the active units roster. Basically, just shows all the units on duty for a particular government entity. So there's a drop down. You can look at police, EMS, doctors, but in this case, we need DOC because we need to set your call signs. And I see both of you already tried to. Very close. So since you guys are non-solo cadets, you see how my call sign is set up as 4 Charlie 21. That first number there signifies rank, basically. So since you guys are non-solo cadets, you're going to put a 1 in front of your call sign. When we do call signs, we just call out the Charlie, like in my case, Charlie 21. I don't call out 4 Charlie 21. That first number is just when you're looking at dispatch, it's a quick way to look and see more or less seniority on radio channels.
Yep, you got that. Also, go ahead in the government app and set yourselves as busy so you guys don't get phone calls.
Yes. Here we have the Lonely Hall. It's named that because, well, it says Lonely Hall. When inmates get out processed, the local guards bring them over here.
Okay.
Over to the right, we have our motor pools where all of our fleet
Doctors from
vehicles
DOC.
are stored and parked. Over to the left over here, on the other side of this wall, is actually our shooting range, where we can do firearms training and practice, target shooting.
On top of, I asked if it was her standard
This
prescription
is
she was
kind of
looking
the
for, and she was
interior
asking for something
lobby through those
stronger.
double
So I don't know
doors,
what you guys are
civilian
giving her
side
so
of
far.
visitation. We can just take a peek in here real quick.
Yeah, she's saying it's stronger pain.
So people can come talk to inmates. On the other side, there are phones and MDWs for inmates to basically call people
Tell her
or
that,
look
but
at
she
like
is
court cases
saying
and
she is
stuff.
in a great deal of pain.
Yeah, okay. I heard she got shot yesterday, so.
Temper. Why is there a beer bottle here?
God, I don't know. Through the single door over there that leads to CO only area, and then there's another door that will lead to Gen Pop. Well, I'll show you that part later. Up here across the stairwell, we have Med Block 1. That's going to be for more like intensive care stuff. If anyone like inmates need to get surgery or go into the ICU, that's where they will end up going. We have a separate Med Block 2. That's kind of our general purpose, general treatment med block that I'll show you guys a little bit later. For the most part, pretty much with up here, blue doors stay locked with the exception of a single blue door. All the rest can stay unlocked. Over here, we have kind of our briefing / meeting room. We also have the department calendar. So it's where we'll post, court dates, important training, stuff like that, stuff that we need to be privy to. But obviously this month it has been a bit light, so not much on there. But it's a good thing to take a look at every once in a while just to see what's going on as far as stuff that the department has going on a day-to-day basis.
Okay.
This first office is Deputy Warden Jay Skeeber's office, and the second one is Warden Ethan Maxwell's office. The armory window where we can purchase equipment. So actually what I will have both of you do is go ahead and look at the tablet there, and I'll read off the equipment you guys need to purchase.
Huh. You
Copy that.
you able to look at that?
Copy that. Just let us know if anything, if you need help or anything. Yeah, if you guys just look at the tablet there, you should be able to
Yeah,
get the little
so
shop thing pull up.
It's saying don't have some. Hold on, I have an idea. There we go. I had to pull the credit card out of the wallet.
Okay. All right. So each of you are going to need a taser / stun gun. You're going to need 5 taser cartridges. A set of handcuffs. A flashlight. A radio. A police camera, not the other one. It needs to be the police camera. A fingerprint kit. A GSR test kit. An evidence bag container. A utility belt / duty belt. An MDW, and a wristwatch. Once you guys have all of that, just let me know. You can go ahead and check out, purchase those things from the armory. Let me know, and I'll do a quick spot check.
So stun gun, 5 things of ammo, handcuffs, flashlight, radio, police camera, GSR kit, fingerprint kit, MDW, utility belt, wristwatch, and evidence bag container.
That is correct. And then depending on how much is left in that armory, we are going to get you guys armor vests, but I want to make sure we can get the main things first because I noticed the armory was somewhat low. All right, I'm just going to do a spot check, make sure you have everything. All right, through here we have the upper portion of Med Ward 2. Over in here, through these double doors, it's our medical storage I'll show you real quick.
Are we gonna need to carry any sort of medical gear? You know, just
Um,
something to keep somebody alive till somebody better trained shows up.
Not at this point. Another thing that is available in the armory are first aid kits. You're free to get one of those and carry that around with you. If you kind of know what you're doing and can like help people as far as just first aid goes, sure. Um, Otherwise, we do have a local doctor that is on standby if needed, but just to kind of stabilize them until EMS or another doctor can get here. Um, as far as this room, this is where we have all of our storage for medical supplies. As far as the medical facilities go here at Bolingbrook, we have everything available to us that Eclipse Medical does. So there's no reason that an inmate would have to leave Bolingbrook to get medical attention at Eclipse. We just need to get a medical professional over here to basically use our resources to treat them, more or less. Over here in this first aid cabinet, it's where we store medications for our inmates, whether they're long-term, short-term. If they need medication and they're going to be here a while, we'll get the medication, store it here, and then set up some kind of um, more or less what's it called, dosage plan or something, to like log whenever they get it and stuff. I'll show you that report later as well.
Okay.
But if you end
Is
up
it
having to give an inmate their medication, that is where it's stored.
okay? Is that a typical duty?
Just giving basic prescriptions, yeah. What we'll do actually is if we come down here. So this is Med Ward 2. Med Ward 2 is left unlocked.
Nice.
Jesus
Place has
Christ.
seen better days.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, normally it's in much better shape, but oh, actually, I just realized I haven't gotten you guys on radio yet. Go ahead and pull up your radios. Go ahead and set your primary radio channel to 7. Feel free to turn it down a little bit. Most people have it set to 0.3 or
You got
0.4.
visual of Harley at the moment?
Secondary channel is normally what we'll do. We'll set that to either 1 or 6, depending if we need to get PD or doctors or EMS. And just kind of have normally just keep that secondary channel off.
Yeah, so don't worry about the secondary right now.
Nah, don't worry about the secondary right now. If in the future you do need to like contact one of those two, you can set the secondary to that channel and call them. And then once you're done with that, you can just turn it back off.
If you see Harley, can you get her to visitation, please?
Yeah, from. All right, both you guys on 7.
Yeah, it's a Big 10-4.
Copy that. All right, so first thing I want you to do, I'll have each of you do a radio check and individually call yourselves 1041.
Radio check.
10-2.
Row 11's going to be 1041.
Welcome on board. But yeah, back to before. This is MedWard 2. This is the general purpose MedWard where people will get general treatment. And then if they end up needing anything more intensive or like surgery, ICU, stuff like that, they'll go back up to MedWard 1. What was your question before we came down here? I'm sorry, I forgot. Oh, never mind. I remember. Medications. So in the case where you do need to give an inmate their medications, what you'll do is bring them to the double doors over here that lead to Gen Pub. You'll bring them over onto the other side of these doors. You will get them in soft cuffs. You will search them, make sure they don't have any contraband or anything, and then bring them in, cuff them to the bed. Then give them whatever their dosage for the pills is. Have them basically down the pill, and then once you do that, you get them back in cuffs. You will bring them back outside, search them again, and then take them out of cuffs. And that's pretty much the process for any time any inmates need any medical or need to come in here for any reason. Inmates are never going to be left uncuffed or unsupervised in this area. All right, welcome to South Yard, aka Gen Pop. That single door right over there, that leads over to like Med Block 2 and over to visitation and stuff. Right here in front of me, we have the Sandcastle Pit and Sand Nessie.
Yeah, something's hitting the fan.
Yeah, that is a cop getting shot and little. But yes, so Sandcastle Pit, something we do for some inmates is that they can work time off by doing various things around the prison. One of the things that we like to have them do sometimes is to build sandcastles in this pit. We also have Sand Nessie, who is extremely important to us.
We protect
yeah.
Nessie.
I come on duty every day and salute Nessie.
Yep.
Yeah, we got good old bugs here. So basically, anyone that gets sentenced or sent up here to prison will come through this portion. They'll walk out here, and they'll see good old bugs.
Anyone smash the TV? They were so angry.
We've come to see some cracks on it sometimes. All right, so this is the kind of the CO side of intake. So what'll happen is, if we get
Just found a phone in cell block 6 with phone calls on it.
copy in the library,
Commissary.
10-4. So if we do like a transport or something to bring new inmates in, sometimes we do transports from like PD or
Charlie
something.
9 exiting cell block 6, 76, visitation.
And book inmates without using local DOC. So what'll happen is once they're transported up here, we'll go, bring up the vehicle just outside of this door, bring the inmate through into here, to where if we need to take a picture of them, we can take a picture of them there. We can seize their items and put them in a locker back there for them to grab when they get processed out later on. And then what we'll do at that point, once we make sure all that's sorted, we'll bring them through that the sliding door there on the other side of the bars, and then work out the paperwork for their sentence. At which point, local guards will bring them through the blue door just on the other side, and they'll be over into Gen Pop. Doesn't happen super often, but often enough. But yeah, here we have solitary, so we have some small cells here. Want to take a peek in there, and then over here we have. Actually, this is the therapy cell.
What?
Here's, let's say an inmate needs to have some therapy or something. What we'll do is we'll end up cuffing the inmate, bringing them in all the way around to the other side of the glass. We'll uncuff them. They'll be able to sit, and then we'll bring the doctor or therapist in, and they'll be able to be on this side. So private space where they can do their therapy appointment, where basically there's no danger to the doctor inmate. So that exterior door stays locked at all times. All the rest of these stay unlocked.
Okay.
Charlie 9 entering 6.
But yeah, that stays locked because there's power tools in here. So don't want inmates to have free access to those. Over here we have the metalworking shop. So you have some saws, some mills, stuff like that, other tools. Through here we have a storage closet with some of the some additional tools, supplies, and stuff for the various workshops. Over here we have the woodworking side. Sometimes we'll have people. Sometimes we'll set up like a weekly project over here and just have inmates make a model boat or a little like storage box slash like chest kind of thing, like a little tiny one. Haven't done that in a little bit, but it is something we have done prior, so you know, something else we can do. And over here we have a big old laundry room. There's a lot of places where things can get hidden here, like the baskets in the washing machine, stuff like that. But again, another spot inmates can come do some like some tasks for time off, stuff like that. Especially over here, a little less dangerous than in like the workshops, but yeah, essentially for this entire building of Block 4, we don't bring any inmates that well, really it's only
Violent.
the best of behaved inmates and ones that don't show like violent tendencies or anything. So more or less the ones that we can trust the most to not try and kill the CO that's with them.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it would be bad.
Yeah, really bad. So, but yeah, this is just another area available to us for that type of work.
Okay.
I think it kind of goes without saying, but this building is also another one of those where if an inmate is in here, they are to be supervised by a CO at all times. Yeah, and then right over here we have cell block 6. Cell block 6 is our lifer cell block, so people that are sent up here for life sentences, they will make more or less make home in cell block 6. Every cell is set up exactly the same, so once you've seen the layout of one, you've seen all of them. Over there, on the other side of that that wall, we have cell block 7. It's going to be more for short-term inmates. People that come in and go after a handful of months.
The thing that I will say though, as much as the cell blocks are all the same layout, the cell block 6 is obviously where our lifers reside. It is important that you learn the layout of that cell block and where each of their designated cells are. They do like to move where their cells are, and it's important that we keep an eye on that. So just be observant of that.
And also, to an extent, make sure you are respectful of, cell block 6. Because, while we do run the prison, it is our prison. They, sent here on life sentences. This is their home, essentially. They have to live here. And to the best as we can, to the best of our ability, we have to make sure that us COs and lifers do get along.
Charlie 21 plus 2 entering cell block 6.
Whenever entering a cell block,
Charlie 09 is
will
already in here.
call that out.
Be advised, Harley is still awake in her cell.
Ooh.
Huh.
Oh, nice. We got the B-Bucks. Yeah, this is something that's new. We're setting up a proper commissary for inmates, so
Oh,
we'll
that'll
be
be
able to get
nice.
some, just simple things. Yeah,
You're gonna ankle bite me.
My God.
I'm gonna have to get a rabies shot if you do that. Ugh, Jesus.
So this is the main room of the cell block. So that's where we have all the cells. They do have, phones mounted on the wall there that do work. Also up there, we do have a observation deck for COs to kind of check in on the main room without having to walk into the room itself. And if we come over here, we have very wild animal.
Rah! I'm very
Just,
vicious. Rah!
Yeah, she's certainly one of our troublemakers. But
Oh.
she's been
Rah!
doing better for the most part. Careful, she's gonna try and bite your ankle.
Please,
Nom,
please
nom,
don't.
nom, 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 nom.
Good thing I have boots on.
Well, it is nice to meet you. I am Thad.
Oh, I currently have a broken leg, but I can still cause chaos.
Did you lose your
It's-
wheelchair again?
No, I still got my wheelchair, but I gotta put it in my locker like every night before I go to
Yeah.
sleep. Because the
Yeah,
local
okay.
DOC, like the fee, you know, the dirty little fees, will
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just chilling. I'm just chilling. Oh, Chad, if you ever wish, hold on, let me. Broken leg. If you ever wish, you can go into my cell at the back, and if you ever think of a quote, feel free to put it on there.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. See if I can
Okay.
think of something.
Yeah, because if you look at the back of my cell, you can go in. You know, I don't mind. I don't got nothing.
Oh yeah. See
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. People
nice.
put quotes or told me to put quotes to help me when I get angry, because hopefully I'll have enough self-control one day to go into my
Yeah, actually, that
and then
that's a good idea.
read the quote. Yeah. I came up with that all by myself too. None of the therapists said that. It was just an idea I had.
But all right, Thad, you've introduced yourself. What about you, Kevin? Introduce yourself to our wild animal.
I'm Kevin.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Bye. Why do you want to do this job for?
What did I want to do? Like, why did I want to do the show?
Yeah, why?
I like helping people. I like seeing the good in people. I think everybody has a, room for improvement, and I'd like to help them get there.
Good luck with finding the good in us. So it's a bit of a hard reach there. Just a little bit. Some more than others, some less than others. Still a bit of a far reach. What about you over there in front of me, almost in front of me? Well, you want to do the job.
Well, I think everyone's redeemable, and I feel like this job is a good way to help people to a better, more fulfilling life, where they are upstanding members of the community, and they turn people into all around good people. No matter what their past is.
I think you're delusional a bit there.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and fucking lie to you, man.
Okay. Are you guys familiar with the force matrix?
I
No.
did look at it.
Okay. Do you guys know the 5 levels of it, or?
So I looked at it the other day. I'm gonna assume verbal. Yeah, no, I'm just spitballing here.
Mhm.
Okay,
Let me
that's fine.
pull this thing up.
What about you, Kevin? Actually, I'll show you where to get a more updated version, but you know him,
Yeah.
Kevin.
I have it pulled up.
Okay. Actually, so what I'll have you guys do for this, pull up your MDW, and back in that Department of Corrections documents tab, go all the way to the bottom and open up the standard operating procedures. The document you guys received previous, I don't believe is the most updated version of it. The most updated version is going to be this one here in the MDW. More or less all the information is still the same. It's just little things might have changed between the two, and the MDW one is pretty much always the one that is most up to date. But once you have that up, go ahead and scroll down to the force matrix.
Okay, yeah, I see it. All right.
Yeah, if one of you guys wants to volunteer or just trade off, each level. Just go ahead and read out each level and what they mean.
Kevin, you want to start us off?
Yep, you got level 1, which is officer presence. The first level is represented by your presence in the yard, simply being around and being aware. The inmates think twice about doing anything they shouldn't.
Level 2, verbal commands. Second level consists of different components dealing in the situation. Verbal commands should always be issued in a loudly spoken, clear manner. Officers may escalate to include a threat of action if previous verbal commands are ignored.
You got level 3, which is open hand, closed fist. The third level is in response to physically and resisting from an inmate. This level is primarily includes the use of tackling and handcuffs to restrain inmates. Punches and kicks may be utilized in specific scenarios where other tools are not available, but should not be a first resort.
Level 4, less lethal. The fourth level is utilized when inmates become violent, striking guards and attempting to subdue them. This level includes the use of a taser, which should always be the first resort. As a backup, officers may also utilize flashlights and batons to beat an inmate down if necessary.
Quick note with that one. It is called less lethal, not less than lethal, because all the tools available at level 4 still have the essentially the ability to kill someone if used improperly. So that is something that needs to be just always in the back of your mind when you do have to escalate to that level.
Gotcha. Level 5, lethal. The fifth level is lethal force, which should only be used when the life of another guard or inmate is in danger. This is the last resort. Firearms are only used in specific scenarios, and you'll be trained and instructed on their use.
Yep. That's 5 levels. As far as firearms go, when we are in the yard, you're not to have any firearms or otherwise lethal weapons in the yard unless authorized by a member of command or under very specific circumstances. Otherwise, yeah, firearms or knives, bats, stuff like that, they aren't to be brought into the yard. As far as firearm usage for DOC, typically that will look like we'll only utilize those like for one, if we're on transports that have been deemed a high enough risk, we can arm ourselves with those department issued pistols that I mentioned to you. Otherwise, the main form of lethals that we have is up on top of each of the perimeter towers. We do have high-powered rifles at the top of each one, and those will be used under various circumstances as well. We'll go over those situations more in depth in future FTO sessions, but yeah. Any questions about the force matrix?
No, seems pretty self-explanatory.
All right, cool. Do you two know the difference between a frisk and a search?
A frisk is patting somebody down. A search is actually going through somebody's pockets.
Yep, correct. And what are you mainly looking for when you frisk someone?
Any large bulges, or something that catches your hands when you're patting somebody down. Something hard, sharp, something like that.
Yeah. Essentially, when you're frisking, you're feeling the outside of the clothing to essentially feel for more or less a silhouette of something that could be a weapon. And yeah, whereas searching, you're physically going through their pockets. With both of them, make sure you announce that you're doing it before doing it. As far as inmates go, we are able to frisk and or search them at any point in time. However, we generally don't do that just randomly. We also normally just skip frisking, go straight to searching since they are inmates. But essentially, to search an inmate, you need to have some kind of reason to believe that they might have contraband of some sort, or if you're bringing them in and out of the med bay or something, right? Otherwise, frisking, generally we'll use that if we end up having to pull security detail at like court cases or something, where we're dealing with the general public instead of inmates. In that case, what you're going to want to do is ask for permission to frisk them. If they agree, you'll just tell them that you're going for a frisk. You'll pat them down, see if they have weapons. Typically, it's in the case of pulling security for a court case, that weapons are not going to be allowed into the actual courthouse. So if they end up having a weapon, tell them go put it in your car and then come back, or so on and so forth. But key thing, this whether you're frisking or searching, try to get permission first and announce when you are doing it.
Makes sense.
Do you guys know what a 1013 Alpha and Bravo are?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, go ahead and explain them to me.
A 13 is going to be a law enforcement officer. An Alpha is an aggressor. And then a Bravo is, let's say somebody falls or a mountain lion attack or something like that. Something that's not an immediate threat, you would call a 13 Bravo.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And I liked how you mentioned the aggressor part for the Alpha. So I'll explain these in two different ways. So there's the common way that like police use it, and how we will use it when we're outside of the prison. So that's pretty much what you said. 1013 Alpha. That's going to be officer down, immediate assistance required. That's basically all hands on deck. Everyone come assist this officer, check on them, because typically that is going to be used if there is some sort of aggressor. Whether that be someone shot an officer, stabbed him, what have you, right? Need immediate backup. 1013 Bravo, I like to call it a 13 Bozo. Generally, that's, like you said, going to be something where it's still an emergency call. You should get there as soon as possible to check up on the officer, but generally it doesn't involve an aggressor, and it doesn't need to be all hands on deck for that case. Normally that's going to be ejecting from your car, falling from a high place, stuff like that, right? It differs slightly for us when we are in prison, because by coming on duty, we do accept that there is going to be a certain level of physicality and the possibility of getting into fights with inmates and stuff. So for us, let's use the example of, let's say an inmate comes up and punches you out, just knocks you out clean cold, and then walks away. That it would be a 1013 Bravo, even though there is an aggressor. However, that will turn into a 13 Alpha if that inmate continues to beat you while you are on the ground, or starts robbing you for your equipment. So the key thing to remember there is, it's fine to get in fistfights and get knocked out. That's a Bravo, but it changes to an Alpha if your life and or equipment are in immediate danger. Additionally, let's say you're up on one of the towers and you have one of our high-powered rifles in your hands and you accidentally fall off the tower. Would you 13 Alpha or Bravo?
Bravo?
I would say Alpha. I mean, we can't
Yeah.
really have a weapon like that in the yard.
Yeah, exactly. It's an Alpha, just for the fact that that tower that rifle has left that tower, and it is there still might be fences and stuff between inmates and that rifle, but it is much easier access than before it left the tower. So, yeah, if the key thing there is if you have the rifle and you fall off, the rifle is laying there next to you, that is an alpha. It's essentially just, that rifle is one step closer to potentially being in someone's hands that should not have it.
Gotcha.
Also, if that does happen and you fall off a tower, you're gonna be put on a board, and you're gonna be teased about falling out of a tower.
Yeah.
However, on the flip side, if you don't have the rifle in your hands and you fall off the tower, that would be a problem.
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions about any of that?
No.
You can put his phone in evidence.
All right. Cool. Well, next thing we're going to do is we're going to hop into VR, do a little bit of training, get you guys comfortable with your equipment. And then after that, we'll hop out of VR, do a little bit of looking around on the MDW, getting you guys familiar with where certain things are there. And after that, that's pretty much it.
Wait.
Okay.
So, cool. We'll head over to the armory. All right. You guys ready to hop into VR?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, cool.
I'll stay out here.
Yeah. We'll be back in a sec. All right, come over to the laptop. On the screen there, you're just going to select Enter VR Training.
What the fuck is that?
All right, welcome to VR, where nothing here matters back to the real world. So it's great.
What is that?
Yeah, I asked that exact same thing when I first saw it. I don't know, and sometimes it's better to not ask questions.
I'm
All right.
boy. Excuse me for one moment.
Okay.
Please make sure we're locking doors behind us. Thank you.
Oh fuck, those kind of hurt. Jesus Christ, I got like ice in them. All right. So what we're gonna do here is go ahead on the your VR keyboard. Go ahead and hold F1, and you'll see an option. You might have to scroll on the wheel there, but you're gonna want to go to Training, Return to Spawn. And then from there, again, you might need to do some scrolling, but you need to find Bolingbroke Penitentiary. Once you find that, go ahead and hit that, and then it'll bring us over to the prison.
This is kind of sick.
Guy has a really nice beard.
All right. Welcome to Virtual Prison. This guy, yeah, he, what's it called? He's kind of our virtual armorer, so if we end up needing additional equipment while in VR, we can get it from him. However, if you buy equipment in VR, it still takes it out of the budget. So, just keep
Hey,
that in
yo.
Got it.
All right. So, first thing I'm gonna have you guys do. You guys know how to use your cuffs?
Yeah, think so.
All right, I'm gonna have you two practice on each other cuffing. So there's two ways to cuff. There's what we call hard cuffs, and then there's soft cuffs. Hard cuffs, you are cuffing their wrists as well as shackling their ankles, and soft cuffs only cuffs their wrists so they can move around. So there's something you're not doing when you're cuffing him.
Going for cuffs?
Now, do not say going for cuffs. The warden hates that. Say something like, give me your hands, give me your wrists, something like that, right? Okay. Any questions about cuffs?
No.
No?
So in order to get somebody in cuffs, do we have to either have them compliant or like,
They
say
are
we
either
tased them,
compliant or you make
or
them compliant.
okay,
So yeah, tackle, tase, something like that.
got it.
All right. Speaking of that, we'll go ahead and try out the tasers. You guys are gonna tase each other. So when you shoot it, listen for the high pitched noise and how long it is.
Jesus.
Hey, it's VR. I can shoot
Yeah,
you in the
it's VR.
face. You're fine. Wow.
Okay, and at that point, that high pitched noise stopped, and then you'd be able to fire again. That's the taser recharging. So until it fully recharges, you're not able to fire a second shot.
Oh, okay.
So that's also why it doesn't really matter to keep your taser fully loaded with the 2 shots in it at all times, because it takes longer for the taser to charge than it does for you to reload.
Oh, okay. Tingly sensation.
Don't worry, that was for training purposes.
Hey, good job, sir.
You get one too.
Really knocks you back.
Boy,
Yeah.
they really do a good job on this VR.
Yeah. Yeah, you were wondering the question about the beanbag. Yeah, it puts someone down. All right. But I did do that for a reason, because the next thing we're going to do is test for gunshot residue. So if you take your GSR test, actually, you don't even need to grab that out of your belt. So first thing, I want you guys to test each other for gunshot residue.
Hmm. Negative.
Oh, it's still nothing.
All right. Come over here and both of you test my hand.
Like at the same time.
That's fine. Just take a swab on my finger, both of you.
Swab that. Swabarino.
Hmm.
You're positive, sir.
Yep. Because I shot the shotgun. Tasers won't set it off for obvious reasons, but the shotgun is still a firearm, so yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys what that looks like for a negative and a positive. Next thing, I want you guys to try and collect fingerprints from each other. Typically with the fingerprint test kit, we're not going to use it all too often, but normally we'll use it if, let's say, there's someone in the yard that we are unable to identify, like whatever their identity is. We'll use the fingerprint test kit to get some data, and then we'll run that fingerprint through our system to figure out the identity of the person.
Okay.
Let's go for the flashlight next. So, you should be able to see some evidence here on the ground with this.
Oh.
Some casings, some fragments.
So, how do you know which is which?
So, I believe. I think these green arrows are the fragments, like projectile fragments, and these yellow circles are the casing. I think.
So,
But we'll find
origin
out once we
point,
collect
ending
the
point?
evidence. What?
Origin point, ending point?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
But we will figure that out for certain because it's been a second. I don't quite remember 100%, but we'll figure that out for certain when we collect the evidence. Before we do that, yeah. So this is easy way how to see evidence on the ground. Now, if you guys come over here, we'll try out the camera. So with the police camera, you can't be right on top of the evidence to take pictures of it. But if you take it out, I think we might need to go a little further back. Yeah, a little further back. There we go. Can see it now. But with this camera, you should be able to see evidence. And, if there's a situation where you need to take pictures of evidence, you can use that to do so.
Okay.
All right, next thing we're going to do is we are going to grab our evidence bag container. Hang on, I need to eat a VR cookie.
What's it taste like?
What I imagine the internet tastes like. I don't know. It's
What is that a good taste?
it's like static.
No.
Maybe kind of like pop. I don't know. Just without the
like
flavor.
Pop Rocks on your tongue?
But without the flavor.
The fuck? I don't know. How I feel
know. It's
about
weird.
that.
I don't know. It's weird. But yeah, go ahead and grab your evidence bag container out of your utility belt, and go ahead and pull a baggie out of there. What you're going to put on the label, put your last name and training.
Okay.
All right. Once you have that, you're going to go ahead and open up your baggie. Once it's open, go ahead and take out your flashlight again. And we are going to go over to where that evidence was and go ahead and collect it and throw it in the bag.
Oh, okay. So you grab everything in the area.
Yeah, you can kind of grab a lot of stuff.
Oh, okay, that's nice.
So once you have all that, you can go ahead and close your baggie. And let's see. So when you look at the labels on the actual bag, we have a total of 6 items in there: 1 unique projectile, 3 unique casings, 2 projectiles, and 4 casings. So it looks like, yeah, I was right.
Stupid.
So the green arrows are the projectiles, the yellow circles are the casings. What the hell, man?
Sorry. It's VR. Ugh. Oh my god. Why am I bleeding?
Oh,
What the fuck was in there?
VR ice.
Oh my
if you're
god,
bleeding.
I'm bleeding.
Okay, well, actually, if you're bleeding, we can get some VR blood samples.
Oh my god.
Let's give it a second. Show you what blood looks like.
Ah, that hurt.
You sure you're bleeding?
Yeah. I mean, I had blood coming off my face.
Are you guys grabbing evidence? You know what I'm asking?
So that's another thing for VR. You need to set up a keybind on your profile. For mine, I use numpad 0.
Same.
I don't know if you're bleeding, man.
It really hurt.
Yeah. They don't feel good.
Do we have to open another evidence bag once we close one?
Nope. You can reopen the bag and add more evidence if you end up needing to.
Huh. It's not letting me throw anything else in there.
Were you able to get the evidence collected?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. It's also probably not letting you throw anything else in there because you've already collected all the evidence here. At this...
No, it was my brain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, we're good.
Sorry, you said you got it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that is that. Let me make sure we didn't skip anything. Nope, that's pretty much it. Oh, with the wristwatch, make sure you put it on. There's a little compass on there, so really helps out a lot when you're trying to give call outs for directions and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, otherwise I think that is it on equipment. Do you guys have any questions about any of that?
No.
No, seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah, cool. All right. So, well, we're gonna leave VR now and go process this virtual evidence, and I'll show you some other key stuff in the MDW. So, come up to this porta potty, and you're gonna exit VR training.
Boy, my face still hurts.
Yeah, well, the goggles a bit tight. But all right. So, when you do get an evidence baggie, what you'll do is when it's when you have it and it's closed, you come over to the evidence machine. On the screen there, you're going to hit distribute evidence. You need to check off each piece of evidence that is in the baggie. Once you have everything checked off, hit submit, and the machine will spit out another bag. That other bag is important because that's the bag that actually adds evidence like that to reports. So once you guys both have that, let me know and we'll hop into a training report and I'll show you guys how to add evidence.
Yep.
You got it too, Castle?
The machine does not want to spit the bag out.
You have room in your pockets?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, okay, there we go. All right, go ahead and open up your MDW. In the top left, go into the search bar.
All right.
Go down and select DOC reports.
But it's a tough report name. The Porosity hates Christmas.
Ooh. All right, and then in the search bar, I want you guys to type in training. And there's going to be a report titled DOC Training Report 9/17/24. Once you see that, go ahead and click on that.
Okay.
All right, you guys both in there now?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So this is kind of the general layout of our DOC reports. I'll go over everything bit by bit here in a second, but for evidence, you're going to go to the far right. You see the evidence box there. When you hover over the evidence box, you got 3 dots. Hit the 3 dots, view evidence locker, and what you're going to do is put in the baggie that spit out of the machine in there. Since it was for training, we're just going to take the baggie that we ended up collecting the evidence in, we're just going to throw that away, but otherwise you'd throw that in the evidence locker as well. But basically what doing that has done, if you go back to your report and in the bottom right, hit the refresh button, it would have added the extra casings and projectiles that we collected.
Mm.
Also, by that same route, if you hit those 3 dots over evidence, you can also add images. So, like how they have listed there, there's some pictures of stuff, and actually, some of them do have some pictures of what blood looks like in evidence. Any questions about adding evidence to reports?
No.
And at the moment.
Okay, cool. So with this, I am going to actually, I'm not going to do it with this training report, but I will do it with the attached report. So right above evidence, there's a box that says reports attached as evidence. We're gonna go ahead and click on that report, hit view report. And essentially, this is a good example report to reference back to for general formatting and stuff whenever you do need to like write a statement for a report. The main one, like if you look in the center, John Palmer's statement, you don't have to read through the whole thing. However, the general formatting of his statement is basically the main thing we're looking for. So some things are bold, some things are normal, but it's all separated out bit by bit. So the general rules for whenever you format your statements, if you change location, do a new paragraph. If something, I guess, major happens, break up the paragraph. You want to try and break it up into bite-sized chunks, so it's not just a solid wall of text, right? Additionally, when it comes to bolding things, make sure you bold any names, places, or like keywords / like phrases, right? The main thing we're looking for is to be able to essentially, if we're skimming this statement and only reading the bold words, we want to be able to essentially get the full picture of what happened, right? And you can like shorten ranks and stuff as long as basically the first time you mention a rank and name, spell it out fully first, and then after that you can shorten it to whatever the abbreviation is and last name. Any questions about formatting statements? Well, it'll go way more in depth later on, especially when you have to do your own statement for various things. But just more so a good report to look at to get an idea for what you need to try to do with your future statements.
No.
Okay.
All right, cool. Now I'm just going to do a quick once over of what everything is on the reports. So in the top left, you have your like title there. And once you make a report, I'll show you where to go to make that. But once you hit create new DOC report, it'll ask for a title. You can just put a working title in, and then basically there is, once you're actually in the report, you can go back and edit the title to get something more proper. But underneath the title, you have basically the narrative debrief. So that's going to include date, location, suspects, victims, and then the actual debrief. Typically, when it comes to the narrative debrief, essentially the officer that has been on scene the longest, essentially, or ideally the one that was there from the start, would fill that out. or an officer that basically got full view of everything, the timeline of events, more or less. Sometimes if, a situation you go, like maybe you're there at the very beginning, you go down, and then there's another officer that was there for the rest of it. Sometimes for the narrative might need to collectively write it, write it from your perspective and up to the point where maybe you don't recall anything, and then someone else that does can fill in the rest. But again, we'll get much more in depth with that stuff through future FTO sessions. Underneath that, you have the shared with box. Typically, we use that to share our reports with PD, and occasionally with lawyers, judges, stuff like that. Essentially, and same thing. 3 little dots. You search for the person you want to share it with, and it shares the report with them. Under that, you have notes. So if there's anything additional you want to add to a report, maybe as a follow-up thing or whatever, you can add a note there. The very center, that's going to be officers involved. That's where COs will put their statements about whatever happened for a situation. And if you scroll all the way to the bottom in the middle, all the way at the very end, you have another box that says witnesses. For us, that's generally going to be like if there's a situation in prison, another inmate witnessed what happened, and we need to get a statement from them. We can add that inmate there and then get the statement from the inmate. Then in the upper right, you have tags. So these are going to be various tags that make it easier to search for various reports involving certain things. Again, we'll go more in depth with tags when we actually write reports in a future FTO session. And then basically explain the other 2 things. Snapshots is, we don't really use that. That's more for PD, but essentially that's like scene recreations in VR. But we don't really have much of a need for that here. We could still do it, but it's normally not needed. Any questions about the layout of reports or anything, I guess, involving reports right now?
No, seems fairly straightforward.
Okay, cool. Let's see. I already showed you where to get to the SOPs. Under that DOC documents tab, there's a lot of other good documents to look at. If you're ever bored, you can check them out. What's it called? Main thing other than SOPs is, at least when it comes to you guys right now, might be the jail operations bulletin / job board. That just lists out people that are in charge of the various divisions and general overview of those divisions. You guys will be able to join divisions once you hit a full CO, but until then, it's mainly just focusing on getting guys trained up, getting comfortable being a corrections officer. Once you get to full CO, you're comfortable, then you can branch out into any of our various divisions. All right, so 3 bars in the top left.
Charlie 21, are you still in VR?
Negative, just going over MDW stuff in Armory.
Copy.
Yeah, so top left, 3 bars. you can access the dashboard from there. It's a nice splash page for your MDW that shows you a lot of pertinent information, new information that comes up. So it's good to check that probably every day. But also in that top left under the 3 lines, you'll see you can make a new DOC report there. So whenever you need to make a new report, that is where you'll go. Also on that list, you can pull up charges. You know, I already showed you the documents. You can also look at the roster. So if you wanted to look at the DOC roster, you could do that there as well. All right, so next thing I'm going to do is we're going to go into the search bar. I'm going to go through a few of the options there. So you already saw the DOC reports option. So that's basically where all of our, when we make a DOC report, that's where they're all stored at, more or less. So the newer ones sit at the top, and you can obviously search reports and stuff. Something you can do all the way at the very top, you have profiles tab. That's how you can look up people's names and or state IDs and potentially even phone numbers. I know I can because I also work for the DMV, but I'm not sure if everyone can. But yeah, that's something that you might be able to do is if you get a phone number, you can plug that in there and find the profile it's associated with, if it is associated with a profile. Then you have the various like docket. So you have criminal, civil, CAF, administrative hearings, even bench trials. That's something that we like to pay attention to, mainly the criminal docket, because that's basically where we'll find out if someone gets sent up on a HUD or held until trial. We'll get updates on their court date and whether or not we need to transport them or they got bail, stuff like that, from the criminal docket. So that's just something fun to keep an eye on. Next is DOC medical reports. So that is where basically if inmates get injured, the doctors will make a medical report there. So we're all aware of basically what conditions, ailments, anything like that are needed, or like attentions are needed for the inmate. Additionally, every 2 months, us COs need to get medical evals to ensure we're fit for duty. Those also go in there. And actually, for each of you, either in your off time or next time you're on duty with your FTO, we'll need to get both of you a medical eval done. If you end up doing it on your off time, just go to Eclipse, go to a doctor, and just tell them, hey, I need to do a fit for duty eval for Department of Corrections. Pretty simple thing. Just make sure you're mentally sound, and might make you run a lap or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Next spot is DOC notices. This is one of the important ones because, like you asked earlier, if we had a list of all the lifers. If you open up the extended sentences report under DOC notices, that's where all the lifers that are currently incarcerated here are going to be listed, as well as anyone that is currently here for some kind of extended sentence, like maybe they're here for 10 years or something, right? That's where all that information goes. Additionally, we have the current holds report. It's going to be people that are like being held until trial or maybe even on a psych hold. And then we also have the parolee information report. That's going to be people that are on like bail or parole. Typically, when they are, they need to report to us every day. They come out of their apartment and just do a check-in. So it's good to have a list of them there. The other main one is at the very top, you have the facility lockers - master report. That's a good thing to just kind of keep open because that links to all of the other master reports that we use. I'm not going to go through them all right now. We'll do that later, but that's just a good thing to know where it is so you can, like, for instance, earlier with the medical stuff, if you check out the attached report titled Medical Cabinet, that's where we have all of the information for medications, stuff like that, as well as a table documenting when the inmates were given their dosages of their medication. So, in your free time, feel free to just peruse those reports. Otherwise, that's pretty much the rundown. Double check I didn't miss anything.
Charlie 21, did you document the infirmary?
I had not yet, no.
You want to get one of the cadets to do it? Or both of them? Or do you want to leave that off for today?
I don't know. You guys want to try your hand at report writing?
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, if it's getting too late or you guys need to go, don't. It's completely fine otherwise. But
I did have one question when it comes to the camera.
Yeah.
So, does it take a photo to the camera, or do you have to have something outside?
So, yeah, you need to download another program onto the camera to be able to upload the pictures to the MDW.
What do you recommend? Because I know the old one doesn't work too well anymore.
I think most people have ShareX downloaded on the camera.
Oh, okay.
So that's a good one to use. But yeah, if you guys want to do that, we can head over there and just pretty easy one, just basically documenting what the state of the med ward was and throwing up a report about it.
One of you can
Okay.
do the photos into the report, the other one can write the report.
Rochambeau for it.
Oh, it doesn't matter to me.
Okay.
Flip a coin. Flip a coin.
If one of you doesn't volunteer, you're both writing statements and you're both adding images.
Oh boy. Dibs on photos.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
What
Did
do you
just
think?
put this up?
Yeah, what do you think?
I like it. That's great.
Yeah. Definitely beats what was up there before.
I don't even know what the fuck that was. I never sat down and read it. I don't
It
think.
was a missing Osiris member.
Okay. I don't
Yeah.
care.
Exactly.
All right. All right, let's document this stuff. All right. So one of you guys throw up the report.
What should I name it?
Yeah. Let me start from outside and work my way in.
Yeah. Yeah, the door was actually from a previous incident, but I guess I include it.
Yeah, I would
didn't manage to
say
get that fixed.
title it Medward 2 ransacked.
All right.
And then as far as like date and other information, put today's date. Location, that's going to be Med Ward 2. Blake, do we have any suspects for this?
Parley Murphy,
Okay, Harley.
based on her
sus-
phone call to me.
Right, okay. Well, in that case, for suspects, put in Harley Murphy.
All right.
Victims, witnesses, you can just do NA.
All right.
You guys mind if I have you, move out of the relevant, frame?
Yeah, that's fine. Actually, we'll
Gonna document the whole thing.
let's just stand out here real quick.
Make sure you're using your camera. Sounds like a dumb thing to say, but
And then as far as in the center, under officers involved in your name, just put something under that field as like narrative is statement, or see narrative for statement, something like that. And then more or less under the narrative, write something to the effect of, while going through onboarding, noticed Medblock 2 was ransacked and the doors leading to Gen Pop were left unlocked. Additionally, under the officers involved block, you can hit the 3 dots and add other officers to it to add their statements.
Under
So,
which one?
Under officers involved.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you hit the 3 dots and then add officer, you can type in other officers' names and add them to the report so they can put their statements in. You can also like self-add.
Who should I put in?
So in this case, you put me. So if you just search Chad Hauser, I will have Castle add himself to that one. And I'll also actually, yeah, and the other one, you're gonna add Mackenzie Blake.
I'm already added. I added myself. But yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't refresh it. All right, never mind. Then we're good. I'll have, yeah, like I said, I'll have Castle add himself.
You guys are good. We're going to the infirmary now.
Man, it'd be nice if my phone told me the time I got the call and not an approximate hours ago.
Additionally, for the statement, want to like go through and maybe add some specific things that are, I guess, were found in the area. Well, it's like I think I saw one of the chairs was cut up, or there was blood in the what's called the actual med ward portion itself.
Under statement or still narrative debrief?
Still narrative, because your statement is the narrative. So
Okay.
Anything that we find in these kind of scenes, if they are particularly pertinent findings, I tend to separate them from the main body paragraph of the narrative debrief. I'll tend to either bullet point it or just list it separately. In this scenario, it would be things like syringes being missing and stuff like that, because those are things that we need to keep an eye out in the general prison population.
Mhm.
Outside of this, Hauser, is there much else we haven't covered yet?
nope, I had just finished the onboarding when you mentioned them doing the statement. So
Cool.
or the
Yeah.
report rather.
I know this has kind of dragged it on a little bit, guys, but I think this is good experience for you. Something you can refer back to. We need to go in and clean up the med ward as well.
Yeah.
Is there anything that we might need to get a doctor to dispose of?
Is there a way to how to get certain things to be bold in my statement?
Yeah.
Highlight the words. Yeah.
Yep.
And then
Highlight it, and there should be an option in the MDW that lets you bold it.
Oh, okay, got it. All right, that makes sense.
We've got 3 sets of footprints here. It was only Harley awake when she pointed it out.
Okay.
The problem is we had the incident before with the water damage. I don't think that was fully cleaned up. Was there a report on that? Attempts to get in medical.
We just have to add
Just gonna have to add 2 more unknown suspects,
two more
but
unknowns.
there's just no. I'm not sure what was here and what wasn't here, because when this was pointed out by Harley, it was only her awake, as far as we know.
Yeah. Right.
I'll go ahead and add that.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything that looks like it would need to be taken care of by like a medical professional.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I think your statement's mostly good. some small formatting stuff that could be improved on, but
Okay. Like what?
So mainly, first time you mention someone's name, just spell out the full name. And then if you mention it again, you can just do the shortened version. So like for your case, first time you mention yourself, do the full, corrections officer, Thad Castle. And then if you mention, yourself anywhere else in your statement, you can shorten it to just CO Castle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, when you're bolding stuff, try to just stick to, you did good with the locations and names, but when it comes to like key statements and words, try to just stick to just the key words and stuff, and only bold as much as you need to, instead of maybe not like an entire sentence or the majority of a sentence. You can leave out some of like the smaller filler words, more or less.
Okay.
Yeah. If you ever want to get thorough report writing, like overview, practice, critique advice, I am more than happy to do that. I'm a little bit of a report nerd. So, but my number one advice is refer back to like other COs' statements and generally take advice from them. It's the best way to learn what's generally the good practice.
Yeah, and like that one example report I showed you, that's a good one to just look over to kind of understand what should be bolded, what shouldn't, where to break things up, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let me make those changes.
Let's let's wrap up for today. You can work on those changes and we will review those at a later point just to give you some time to. 'Cause I'd rather you spend a good bit of time on it and feel like confident in it, right? And then we'll have a look.
I know we've been going for a while,
and we've been
too, and...
we've been here for over 3 hours at this point, so you guys will be writing plenty of reports. So.
Oh, last thing I need to do is get you both added to the DOC group chat.
Yeah. I need to add both of your numbers, actually. You got both their numbers saved?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll just piggyback off you doing that then. Right, who was 9109 when he just got added?
That's Castle.
Anyone else's phone being very slow at the moment?
No, mine's fine. So yeah, this is the DOC group chat. It's going to be used for quick and easy communication between the entire department. It's where like information will get pushed from command and stuff, announcements, all that. So pay attention to that.
Make sure you've got a pin on your phone, please, if you haven't already.
Additionally, it's important for you guys because as cadets, you'll need to reach out in this chat to get FTO sessions until you're a solo cadet. So just keep an eye on that. If you're planning on going on duty, reach out in the chat, ask if there's any FTOs available, and also if FTOs are on duty, normally they will post in the chat if they're available to do a training session. Just if that happens, make sure that you respond to them in the chat. Don't just show up on duty kind of deal.
Yeah, You cannot come on duty alone without an FTO for the time being, just until you've learnt the basics and we trust that you can do the job without getting your ass kicked by lifers or other inmates.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Also, feel free to, if you're not having any luck with, the DOC chat getting FTOs, feel free to reach out to any of them directly to try and, maybe properly schedule a session or something,
Yeah, Hauser here is going to be your main point of contact for Shift 2 training. But you can reach out to other FTOs like myself, and I will at least push a message out to FTOs, asking if anyone else can facilitate training you guys. So, yeah, please, please, please reach out for training. We will, find out who can be there to train you guys up.
Okay.
Cool.
All right, we guys got any last things before we call it?
I just want to say, thank you to you two for taking the time out of your day to, help train us and, mold us into successful team members of this facility.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely. And in response to that, I say, please keep coming on duty because I don't like spending a lot of time training people who then disappear off the face of the earth immediately. So we'd love to see you around and continuing to learn.
Yeah, I think you guys, we hired you guys for a reason. I think you guys are going to be a good fit here. So,
yeah,
just stick to it. Take as long as you need in the cadet phase to, learn the ropes, get comfortable with them.
Don't be afraid to ask questions or ask for help on things. We don't want you feeling like you don't know how to do something and feeling, apprehensive to come on duty or anything like that because of it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Anything from you, Baker?
No, I think that's it.
Cool. Right. Let's get you guys clocked off and your equipment popped back in your locker. Then you can head off duty.
Yep.
All right, perfect.
Having like a major deja vu moment. Alrighty, chat. Well, I think I'm gonna call it here. I appreciate you guys chilling, hanging out here today. It's been a fun couple hours. I don't know. Like I was kind of contemplating whether or not I wanted to do DOC, but after meeting the people that I met today, I think it's fun. If it continues to keep up like this, I would definitely like to stay in DOC work. But I will catch you guys probably not tomorrow. I am super tired right now. I can only imagine what tomorrow's going to be like. But I'll catch you guys sometime throughout the week. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you tomorrow. Or not tomorrow. See you later. Peace out, guys.